Om Gangadapate Sri Gurubhyo Nama hariom. Friends, will revel upon the same devotion and what is the prevalence and what is actually uh, what is enumerated in our scriptures directly from the verses of the Lord Krishna. And we know God principle is that Sachidananda, existence, jnana, light, and it is power, energy. Now that is in Saguna form, that is in Nirguna. Saguna form we have God, Trinity, and the incarnation of God is we have avatars. So one avatara will just to dwell upon the subject will take Krishna, Lord Krishna. He is Sachidananda Swarupa, and his glory is depicted Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam in that Kurukshetra. It is known in when he comes for to mediate before war, his all pervasiveness, his glory, divine glory is depicted, and uh, that Arjuna now actually submits to God, that he is confronted with Vishada, and he want him to help him. Then Krishna has unfolded this Bhagavad Gita 701 slokas. Now in that one it is said that Arthi, Artharthi, Jignasu, Jnani. These four uh, category people approach him. Now we'll start. Now the believer of the God. Now the believer of the God who will adore God. He loves God. And now as part of his love, expression of love, he would be doing rituals, chanting, puja, abhisheka, homas, pilgrimages, everything. That is what is very much visible in current times. It has enhanced fourfold. This will, and definitely it is for redressal of our grievance, for fulfillment of our desires. So this is the law, God's law, and it is fulfilled, and this will, because of this pursuit, when he is doing a ritual or some kind of a chantings, then there is a focus, concentration, chitta naichalya. So this is abhimanam, like we are fan of the God, we are thing, but then what is this is a but then what are God's laws, God's rules? They are enumerated in chapter 12, uh, slokas 13 to 20. Here God has elaborated 42 attributes, and he would uphold that these constitute to be God's laws, divine laws, and those who abide by it, I love him. I love him. He is held dearer by me, Priya. And this constitutes to be devotion, dharma. This he said it. Now, if you see Vishwa is the thing, adhering to these 42 amounts to Chitta Shuddhi. It is Chitta Shuddhi. And then, yes, in this case also, the Arthi, Artharthi are fulfilled, but in this one, it accompanies by virtue of the Chitta Shuddhi thing, God's grace. He became eligible for his grace. His grace is what? He is Ananda Swarupa. There is a trace, reflection of happiness, contentment, and peace. This is the signature of God's pleasure, because the materialistic positions are simply karma phalas. God's pleasure really reaches us by this way: peace, contentment, and happiness. He is devotee. Now, the third category is they are entities who does exactly inverse of this do's. They are caught up in don'ts. That is chitta ashuddhi, exactly one inverse of these 42. That is a demonic nature, rakshasas, and in here also they may be praying the God, despite being this one, they now we know all Rakshasas, their and their wishes are fulfilled. But here, despite fulfillment, there is no peace because there is no pleasure of the God. So non-pleasure of the God means inverse to those inverse to this one undivine, demonic. That is, despite fulfillment of the desires, there is no peace, contentment, and happiness. Now that is the signature of this category. So the one who is upholding the laws, he is devotee dharma, he is following, and one who is breaking the God's protocols is demon. Now the advantage, now the evolution, one has to be consciously making a review, inner audit. What is his disposition? If these three are missing means it is he misses the pleasure of the God. Pleasure of the God is missing the peace, happiness, contentment, and bliss. This has to happen. This introspection, this inner attunement is required. He has to diagnose. Now we know when we are cleansing, whatever there is some unwanted item is occupied or it is rotten, we replace it with a good item. So we have to make this thing because it is said we have to know our good and others bad. So this will give us the progress. Now if I am blind about my dark, then I would never grow. So this demonic nature, now they have to calibrate these 42 vis-a-vis where they are, if they wish to get the peace. That also calls for the resolve. Then it is not that it is linked to anything external, it is purely internal. This is important. The unhappiness, whatever trauma undergone, is due to indisposition. Suppose one is seated, he is surrounded by some good items, fragrance item, he is beneficiary. Suppose he is surrounded by filth and all rotten things, he is the victim. So our mind immediately is because the surrounding means we are enveloped by consciousness. That consciousness is I am. This I am is immediately surrounded by the mind. This mind decides. If mind is good, it reflects this. It is a clean glass. If mind is like a light analogy, if you take mind is darker, it won't. It will block the light. So that kind of a thing, inner whatever those 42, one has to identify which are not held, and one has to oppose, and then one has to uphold what is required. Now here for this that honest assessment to happen, because one thing in life, everyone, unlike in material sciences, it is opposite energies come together, plus and minus. So in human beings, it is like energies come together. Everybody likes someone who is like him. This extends to God also. God likes who is like godly. Rama likes who is Vigrahan, Maryada Purushottam, who is Dharma, complying these protocols. So Krishna loves who is always disseminator of happiness, and Shiva auspicious, he has taken the pain of the thing. Similarly, one who takes others' pain, alleviates with the human approach, then he is held by dearer to Shiva. And goddess, mother, yes, mother means symbolic for unconditional love, service, forgiveness, tolerance, forbearance. Now, if somebody want to please mother, one has to inculcate. These will draw closer to them. So that is the conviction one has to have, and one has to grow. Now coming to the next step, one is this is, suppose from negative one has evolved to positive. Now he has earned peace, contentment. Now comes These are fleeting, there's insecurity, they are subject to change and more so mortality because anitya, all this is. Then with Viveka, one again revels upon the thing. That then this is the entry to the next stage, that is uh, that kind of a eternal principle of immortality bliss, and he is equipped with viveka, that discrimination with which he will distance. Now whatever the peace thing karma he is getting, that is jada inert, that is through the instrument. So being good is always good, better than the negative, but this good also, it is there is it is dependent on so many factors. It is not independent, it is not. So there is this is subject to change. This is shat vikara. So then the other instruction, uh, uh, one can follow prasthanatraya or say Bhagavad Gita, so many. Now kshetra kshetrajya vibhaga yoga. Now identification with the kshetra. If kshetra is good, what we have seen, we get these benefits. If kshetra is, then one has to outgo that kshetra and then trek upon that path. Now in this process, this is what is more unveiled through our Gayatri mantra, Mata mantra. That mantra says, I have made my choice. I am opting my groom to be Savita. Savita means light, consciousness, awareness, light, jnana. Now earlier what he had, the reflection of this one, Deha, Prana, Indriya, mind and material. They are all the formations, derivatives of this Jnana Prakasha and Shakti. Now he is now Bimba, he is going to the thing. He is making a choice, Varenyam. And that is what is the even Mrityunjaya mantra also, creeper, example, that cucumber shivering. Here also it is, the creeper is for jada, inert, which is changing the known domain, and this cucumber is shivered so that it is fit to do higher. It is relieved because that is mortal, it is separated, that is the symbolic analogy. Now in this way, by following the onward thing, there is accomplishment for the life. So it is capable, this is what is upheld by so many enlightened masters, like a caterpillar evolving to the butterfly, like a plane on road. Yes, it is reminded. Now the plane wrongly operated on thing, or that and rightly operated. Then there is a turn around. It again it is driven back to the airport where it will take off. So human birth is meant for that state of higher achievement, for achievement of the infinitude. Now the prerequisite for this is that compliance of the divine laws. These laws are nothing but humanity, moral, ethical principles, and these are when one. That's why when one practices, it gives the instant peace. Because in our Puranas there are two categories floated: Devatas, Rakshasas, and Devatas, Rakshasas are no, the Devatas, in a way, if you say, they had done all those rituals, got fulfilled, but they were distanced by the god, punished. And this Rakshasas, Rakshasas are punished. Devatas, they are divine, they are held dearer, they are protected. That is what is the law. When God descends, what we say, Avatara is to come to Dushta Shikshana, Shishta Rakshana. So one has to become eligible by pursuing the God's laws. Otherwise, life becomes amak, and then what one believes today, that his own disposition to be the right, and that he is already having some worshipment. Now we have seen. Now, what one's version, this version, what is the parity? Is there any parity vis-a-vis God's tenets? That is very, very important. Because if one has to earn peace, we have to adhere to it. Otherwise, these divine laws are so tough. And this principle, it is like that, what we sow, so we reap. That's what is said, yad bhavam tad bhavate. Now, however, we may worship. Now, the first category of worshipper is like we are worshipping the Mother Earth, and then second part is God's that 42 laws or something like that, sowing the fruit seeds. We'll get it, and the negative is like that we are sowing the bitter seeds, thorn bushes, and then the fruit. The whatever is connected, it comes. So what we need is peace, happy. We have to do it, and then fulfillment of our ultimate object. So this is the God's tenets. It alone gives the Purnatva. Hariom.